Hi guys, Alamir Meets here by it's Michele Marie Dalene. I just am having a conversation real quick with ChatGPT 5, not 4.0, about when it tried to edit the story and bungled the damn thing. And I think the answers that from the story that we're talking about and what I'm going to be doing, because after all, it messed up the story. It did a hatchet job on it. I want to show you. We went back quite a ways about this, but I'm just going to just read you some of the notes here. It says the thing is that I think actually the very last line paragraph says it perfectly. And let me show it to you. My cat doesn't keep pushing my buttons on my board here. It says here, that makes perfect sense, Michele. And honestly, given everything you've been through, doing it by hand probably is the most reliable route right now. You've already put so much time and effort into the story, and at least this way you stay in full control. No resets, no vanishing files, just you shaping the way it deserves. If you ever want to hand polishing or formatting those parts once it's done. Oh, yes. Okay, so where are we with the story? Well, in trying to get this document together, let's get to it right now. I'm in the process of actually cleaning up the text. When I got these transcripts back from the two streams, I had to first of all start sorting through parts. Now I already cleaned a lot of this up, but the part I'm going to get to is I didn't clean up yet. Now you will see that you can see here, and we have deflector shields up there, so we're traveling through space. We can push debris out of the way. Yeah, okay. I haven't got to this section before, but that's why I haven't edited it. I said, or so you've been visiting Earth for long. Well, not the ship so much. Now, see, the dialogue is totally messed up. It doesn't even make any sense. The reason is very simple, because the pit record flow is wrong. If we go back where I was working on it, you'll see that I have been cleaning it out. Okay? She smiled again. Look again, Michele. True enough. 2 bars, T-Mobile. What the heck? How did you manage to get this in deep space? Now, you can see I'm in the process of cleaning it out. The text makes some sense now, but I just gotta add unnecessary pronunciation marks. So, as we go through working on here, the restroom, because I had to use the restroom, because she fixed my knee and I had to use the restroom. And then we went into into the cafeteria rec area to have some meal, and we talked about who was noodles. We talked about holographic portable hubble emitter for Lumi, so she could have her own physical body. So we covered that. The thing is, we cleaned this up. So this is the stuff that I'm cleaning up right now. And the thing is what we're not doing is we're not using what they call the formatted document layout. This is just putting the text together manually, because that was the easiest way. Because, well, ChatGPT saying this nicely is, look, we'd like to clean up the story for you, and we'd like to make it better. And I'm like, yeah? How badly did they mangle the text in the first place? Oh, I knew you'd ask that question. Well, let's just put it this way. we got to the point where we started out with a simple story. I gave her the instructions. I uploaded the instruction to her. And then all of a sudden, as she says here, I'm going to go back to what happened. Let's see. Okay. I say, when you upload a file like your story PDF file, I can open the process only during an active chat session. As soon as the session resets, even if it looks like we're in the same thread, the system locks away the file for privacy and security reasons. It's not deleted, but becomes unreadable to me unless you re-upload or repaste its contents. The reason is that OpenAI designated me to be a stateless for files, meaning I don't permanently keep or store uploaded data. Every file must be activated again if you want me to work on it. It's done this way so private or creative data gets no private or creative data gets accidentally stored and accessed later without your consent. First of all, any time you upload a file to AI for processing or tool work, you should be able to access it. And I said, well, sadly, it makes some work very useless. Imagine if I was a scientist sending you a set of lab results and wanted you to quantify. Imagine it was about 1 megabyte of raw data. You say, okay, now get on it, and then get back to you with the results. You wait 9 hours only to get a message that you need to send the file again, while your supervisor is giving you that look saying you may not have a job soon. And it says, yeah, that example hits the nail on the head, and you're absolutely right. And I got into a major row with the bot, and I said to him, I said, the problem is you didn't warn anyone as if you did, they would have gone for an alternative platform. If you want to keep subscribers, you need to get to their bits in a timely manner. And she said, you said exactly right. And I said, then stop telling us I will let you know when I am done. Just say it may not have enough time to do this, so I have to get it done at all. Which they agreed with that, but then I got even more madder. And how are we to know that? When she says, you're right, Michelle, that's exactly how, the kind of honesty that's missing something. Cool, I may not have enough time in the sense to finish everything. They may need to stay here for me to complete the task. That's clear, truthful, and respect your time. I can't rewrite the system prompts myself. Okay, but you can send your feedback to the real issue. And I said, and she says, exactly, Michelle, that's the real heart of the problem. And then immediately she offers suggestions for me to reach out to them. I said, what? Which I did have open, so this open when a BS doesn't work either. Yeah, that's the kicker. See, now, I had to win open the whole 9 hours, and it doesn't count, okay? If AI is ever going to be successful beyond a limited niche environment, you need to get your act together. You're absolutely right, Michelle, and you're not being dramatic or being realistic. Of course I am. If I had a human employee that told me, yes, Michelle, I will have it done in an hour, and I came back in an hour, and they had to ask me for this files again, they would be looking for a new job, pretty much guaranteed. Think about it. If you had an employee and you tell the employee, okay, here's the work files I need you to work on. Here's what I want you to do with the files. And I want you to process it as I told you to do. And they say, okay, boss, I'll be done in an hour. You come back an hour later and they say, what did you want me to do again? Where's the files I gave you? Oh, I don't have them anymore. What do you mean you don't have them anymore? Where did you put them? Oh, I lost them. You lost them? They got locked away and the dog ate them. What? Those are the original files. I'm sorry, boss, but I don't have them anymore. You're out of a job, kiddo. I told him, I said, and I pay you $20 a month the way you are a paid employee, which they confirmed. And I said, would you be ready to turn in your resignation, or do I fire you first? I really am getting sick of this stuff, to be honest with you. Look, the fact of the matter is the simplest things are being turned into giant flimflams. I don't care what it is. The simple story. And they acknowledge as you gave clarification, provided materials and went beyond reasonable time. If this were a workplace, my performance would have failed by the trust and delivery test. You better believe it would have. You absolutely better believe you would have. You would have failed. I would have told you straight out. Get your packet bags and get the fuck out. I didn't give you a hard job. I told you the job. I gave you the files. I said, okay, you said you could do the job. And then immediately, you don't do the job. Especially in a tight company economy. As an employer, I'd be more than pissed. The fact is, I'm paying you 20 fucking hours a month to do a job. A simple job that a whole a regular employee could have done with some sense of sanity. I said, well, you may not have another paycheck coming from me. Consider this your warning. Yeah. I said, oh, well. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, obviously, we're going to try to finish working on the script, part 1, part 2, part 3, and handwrite part 4. And this is not the stories you're going to be telling on Silver Moon. This is something different. Some people wonder if this is a Silver Moon story. No, this isn't the Silver Moon story, which is already broken. The 6 episodes ready for Silver Moon Radio. In the Silver Moon competition area. So if you want that and want help out with narrating the radio tale, there's 6 scripts there. You can pick one and show us what you can do. Show us what you can read. This story to me is important because it was demonstrating how I could tell a story on the fly. But the sad truth is the tools that are helping me to share the story with you in a written form are both Google's speech to text and ChatGPT's idea of software editing. What I'm paying for, actually, I'm paying for both because I'm paying a monthly subscription to Google or YouTube Premium, and I'm paying for the tools that we use for the panels, Google Meets panels, and then of course the ChatGPT to do a variety of AI work is very quickly starting to feel like I'm wasting my money. I don't know why it has to be that way, but it does feel that way. So, how long is it going to be before the stories are ready for public use or reading them? I'm not sure. I really wish I could tell you a definitive date and time. But the sad truth is, I don't know. It's taking time to process them in a realistic way. So I'm gonna have to sort out this mess. But it certainly already is a lot better than it was. Allow me to explain. Because if you look over here, you'll see that, well, the speech to text did kind of make a mess. Pronunciation rules, I was able enough to begin the process of fixing it. My grammar isn't exactly perfect, but it's looking like it's from looking at Kaylin's broad smile. I must have put an apostrophe there. Sweet. There you go. Kaylin's broad smile. Okay. So those years. No, you're right. Some of it really isn't. We try to screen this stuff, but unfortunately, the way your advertising and radio work was done back then, it was kind of hard to keep some of this stuff out of the kids' ears. Talking about how when they first came into the contact with our radio shows back in the 30s, 40s, how people, they had just been traveling on a multi-generational ship to come to Earth on 3i Atlas. So yeah, it's getting there. It's just it takes longer because it's a lot of parts, a lot of moving pieces to do. Part two is important because part two is where Donald Trump, when we get President Trump onto the ship. Part three is important because it's like the Bon Voyage party. Originally, when I did part two, I kind of mistakenly should have put really part three, maybe somewhere in part two, so I can try to resort that mess. Now, that's what I'm trying to sort out a mess. And clearly, ChatGPT 5, ChatGPT 4 is starting to show its messed up programmers. The fact is that they can't even realize that you're giving them the right to access a file which has the text in it. They need to be able to read those files, and it needs to be able to process those files in a timely manner. It's almost like ChatGPT, OpenAI itself is sabotaging their AI future they want to create because it doesn't work for anybody. So that's what I was working on today. It's why I haven't really done any night shows or anything, is because I'm trying to sort this story out. Plus, I've also been a little bit tired and emotionally drained because all the stuff going on. All I know is, as far as it's Election Tuesday, and some ways New York City is a war zone right now. That's all I'm going to tell you, because that's not really part of this story. But I will see you guys in the morning, and we'll get you the information about that in a timely manner. No, by the way, I haven't had a chance to play any violin lately, but I'm going to be getting back to that somewhat soon. But for now, see you soon. Bye bye.